of darkness we have light. Comes the day from the night. Joy shall come in the morning. Joy shall come to you. Peace shall come in the morning. Peace shall come in the morning soon. Peace shall come in the morning. Peace shall come to you. Brothers all in charity, sisters all in unity. Peace shall come in the morning. Peace shall come to you. Hope shall come in the morning. Hope shall come in the morning soon. Hope shall come in the morning. Hope shall come to you. Take this pain from the night. Open your heart with wings that fly. Hope shall come in the morning. Hope shall come to you.
All those wonderful things come to us if we are looking every single day, every minute of every day. They just are here, all around us. All we have to do is be, feel, and express joy and peace and hope and love. In every single day. Beautiful day today. Yesterday was a little rainy and gnarly. But every single day, I'll bet we can't count how many opportunities we have for new experience. Something we haven't done before, felt before, seen before. After church today, we're going to have, what do they call that when we go next door? Socializing, fellowship. Okay. Howdy and shake, it's just, but there are people in this room, if you look around the room, that we don't really know that well. But we have an opportunity to make new friends. We can sit over there and have a cup of coffee and tell lies and stories and just develop wonderful friendships. We have so many opportunities to get out of the rut, to add some value to this thing we call life. We just do. And I hope we can all kind of open up and look around and feel something we never felt before. Meet somebody we haven't met before. Have a feeling of satisfaction or just awe. Sometimes we meet people or see things that we're just in awe. We just don't know what to say. It's breathtaking. That's what people say about me sometimes. Oh, anyway, that's how it is this morning. So it is.
Pat, the readings you picked this morning could have been just tailor-made for my thoughts.
Wow.
It's amazing how that happens, isn't it?
That's what Spirit does.
It does. I'm just going to read this to keep it in the context of a mini message. So, our inherent identity is what almost all the world religions and philosophies have essentially meant by soul. Your soul is who you are in God or Spirit, and who God or Spirit is in you. Spiritual idealism is always eminently realistic and optimistic. We understand that the ideal is attainable, but something that we have to grow into. We can never really lose our soul. We can only fail to realize it. The mystery, the spark of the Spirit, is and always has been in us. Yet in most cases, it often feels beyond us. Our essence, and it has been referred to as our thisness, has never appeared and will never appear in another human being. Your unique self, for all eternity, for all eons of time, you are the one and only you. It was Oscar Wilde who said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." I've been many things and have had numerous titles in my life, but the core of my being, I'm a farmer. Living in wine country, vineyards are so ubiquitous that it's easy to miss the transitions that every season brings. Spring, that has just come upon us, is a time of anticipation. Farmers, too, are eminently realistic and an optimistic group, and they refer to this time of year in wine country as the break. A well-known and famous farmer's passage in the Bible is found in the Gospel of John, chapter 15, where Jesus makes the analogy that the Spirit is the vine and we are the branches. If you look at a vineyard today, you may be surprised to only see the vine stalks. All those long, beautiful branches have been pruned away, only leaving a few choice buds. The long vines and the fruit of the past season have been removed so the energy of the vine can focus on a few choice buds. Not that my former identity or our identities have been wasted, but like the wine, they are preserved. And it is in those buds for this new season that the farmer waits in anticipation for the break to open. I used to understand the parable of the vine and the vine dresser as punitive, that if you did not believe a certain way, you would be cut off and burned, when in fact, it's about love and our unique purpose and potential. The farmer prunes in winter, resulting in a burst of growth. It has been wisely said that God draws straight paths with crooked lines. And though our lives take many turns and setbacks, the spark of the Spirit has always been in us. Farmers understand that pruning removes the excess that draws down our strength and distracts our performance, that ultimately diminishes our quality of love to ourselves and to our neighbor. It removes that which the false self creates as a covering to conceal our true identity. And those things are nothing more than a false front. We refer to them as the fig leaves that cover our nakedness. Nothing is wasted. I was having breakfast yesterday morning with Pat and Peter, two good friends, and we were just pondering many things. And I realized in that moment that we are exactly who we are, and we are exactly where we are supposed to be at this very moment. And I can say that with total certainty to you. You are exactly who you are and where you are, and we're together in a perfect place that Spirit has intended for us. Remember, there will never be another you. And may you always look with hope at its coming season. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have a very busy month about us coming forward. Next week, Wayne will be back from Palm Springs or someplace in Arizona. His son got married last week. He's down there having a celebratory experience, I'm sure. So, and Dick's going to Europe, going all over down rivers and stuff on cruise. He's going to be gone 3 weeks, having a wonderful voyage. And so it's just, stuff is happening this spring. April is busy, busy. Next week will also be potluck. Easter Sunday potluck. I won't be here. I'm going to be sleeping in, and Wayne's going to take care of everything next week. April 13th, we're having a work day. And there's a lot to do. Start about 9-ish, and there'll be donuts and coffee, I'm sure. And all kinds of yard tools, pruning tools. If you got some, bring them, but there'll be some here. You can just show up, and if you got a pair of gloves, that might be a good thing. And we'll stay as long as we need to stay until we get tired, or just whatever, until we get finished, but I don't think that'll happen. Then, that's the 13th. The 20th, you may want to write this down. The 20th of April, from 2 to 5, we're going to be having a memorial and reception and a celebration of life for Pam Bourne. I talked to her daughter Jennifer this week, and she's going to be working with Kelly and Joelle, and we'll get it kind of put together, but it's going to be very simple, and it'll be kind of a potluck sort of reception next door. So everybody brings something, we'll set out some tables, and it'll just be a lovely day in remembering and celebrating the life of Pam Bourne. That's on the 20th. The 27th will be our first real cabaret from 5 to 7. We will be having the Bluebirds, and they will be ripping it up like they always do. So that's going to be then. We're going to try to put down our new floor before the 18th of May. Don't know if we can do it or not, but we're going to give it a shot. We've got a very nice wedding here on the 18th, and so hopefully we can have the floor in and down for that. I heard a rumor on the 13th of July, we are having a pancake breakfast. Catadia is having the annual 32nd annual Kids Day Parade. And I have to wait a week to confirm this, but I heard a rumor that Snoopy will be at our pancake breakfast and also be the Church of the Oaks entry in the Catadia Kids Day Parade with the Snoopy mobile and everything. So that's just a rumor at this point, but I think I heard it from a pretty smart person, so I think it might actually come to pass. That's on the 13th of July. Tomorrow night, I think there's Healing Circle right here from 7 till 8. Oh, one other thing I wanted to tell you about. Most of you know Wayne, and Wayne worked for many, many years, retired out of the IRS. And he was telling me one time that he didn't work in customer service, but you know how when you're there and the boss comes up and say, hey, the customer service dude didn't show up, man the phones today. So he did, and he thought, oh man, this is... He hadn't been there an hour when somebody calls in and says, I'd like to know if birth control pills are deductible. And you know Wayne, he kind of thinks about things for a while, and he said, probably only if they don't work. Let's stand up and sing, This Is My Song. We live in this world, my friends, where we all think we're right and they're wrong. And there are 8 billion of us in this world, and we all kind of want the same things. We all believe in goodness and peace and love, and some people just can't let it be. Got to keep showing the difference instead of how much we are truly alike. Let's sing This Is My Song. Please stand. First 2 verses.
Okay. This is my song, O God of all the nations, His song of peace for a land of far and wide. This is my home, the country where the heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams will only shine. But the as true and right as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But Tugger lives by sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my friends, oh God of all the nations, myself I give, me let thy will be done.
And now we may engage in the privilege and joy of welcoming each other in the traditional Church of the Oaks.
Hi there. Hi. Good morning. Hi, Joy. You look very joyful. That was so definite. I love it. That's what I love. Thank you. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. Hi. Morning. Hi. Good. How are you? Very good. Good morning. Hi, Susan.
Ended up not changing key, just I didn't want to change key and this one changes, but this one doesn't. You get that kind of stuff. I didn't want to take a chance.
Yeah.
We are all family in this room. We truly are. And in so being, we try to help each other with things that life presents to us. You know, sometimes we got the blues and we got some grief going on. There's some extra hugs and phone calls and companionship available to every one of us. And sometimes we're just win the lottery and we are feeling so great, and we share that with everybody. But nobody's won the lottery in here for a long time, to the best of my recollection. We're due, we're ready. But one of the ways in which we help each other work on enhancing the practices that we have in our life, our spiritual practice. We have a basket in the back to where we don't, like most churches pass a basket, give us money. Now we try to help each other remember to have the intention of sharing not only our money, but our time and our talent and our thought, as well as our treasure. So we're just family, and we will get through anything. Talking about our treasure, our church, our board, tithes, shares our money with different nonprofits throughout our county. People doing some good stuff that could use a few bucks. For years we thought we were too poor to tithe, and we were. We were always poor, had trouble paying our bills on time. And then one day we finally said, hey, let's walk our talk. There's abundance everywhere. And we want to keep that abundance flowing into us. We have to let it flow through us, not just to us and stop. we started tithing. And ever since that day, not saying we got hundreds of thousands of dollars, but our bills, we pay them on time every month. We don't have to struggle. We stay focused on what we're in business for, and that's to increase and elevate our consciousness and our awareness about spirit within our lives. And so, just sharing our time, our talent, our thought, and our treasure, that's part of being who we are in this family. So let's read together our affirmation of abundance. May we? To realize an abundant life, one must practice giving, receiving, and gratitude. May we ponder that wisdom, sir. Thank you, Michael. Michael, can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
If we asked, would you take your tie out and play it? Look, it's got music on its tie. I think
This
that's
melody
amazing.
is,
It's got a bass and treble clef both. I mean, it's ready to go. Short measures.
I need to see the beginning of the measure. I do own stuff.
Peer pressure you.
Yeah, I have a handbag with a melody on it. I can play that. I'll bring that up. I don't know.
Well, we're always being open and receptive to new challenges, Michael. Just keep that in mind.
Thank you.
I neglected to remember to share one of the things that's coming up in April. On April 7th, Sunday, the board decided, I was just eating donuts and drinking coffee when the board decided to have like a swap meet and bring the stuff out of your closets and out of your garage, in the backyard, in the front door. We have enough leaves. We don't need any more leaves. But anything that you don't necessarily need anymore, bring it, and there might be an opportunity to repurpose it or share. Somebody else might be needing exactly what you were going to throw in the trash. So we're just going to have a fun day on the 7th and have a little swap meet over in the hall right after church. Bring the stuff, and everybody will get something new for a change, and won't have to spend any money. So that's on the 7th of April. Are there any other announcements? Does anybody have? Okay, let's quiet down all this stuff and sing Only Believe as we prepare ourselves for our meditation this morning.
All things are possible. Only believe. Only believe. Only believe. All things are possible. Only believe.
Good morning. Welcome to this hope-filled spring day. I'm so glad you could all be here so that I may offer you a cup of tea. Set down your burdens. Settle yourself in your chair. Close your eyes if you wish. I've put on a fine kettle. Are you ready to fill your cup? Please, select a scoop of your favorite spring tonic tea to ponder in peace for the next few minutes. Is your favorite tea charity, unity, reality, loyalty, integrity, sovereignty? Perhaps your mind reaches for vitality. Does your heart open to honesty? Does this moment call for more serenity? You know what tea your soul desires. Partake. Sit quietly while your tea steeps, relaxing your body and mind in your tea's warmth, breathing deeply of its bouquet, considering the healing properties of your choice of tea. Now swirl, sip, savor, and sink into the quiet moment to commune with yourself. As you finish with your unity, do you see the few leaves and flowers left in your cup? What's the loving message they communicate to you? Fill your spirit with these blossoms of wisdom and come home to the now.
We love people. Our number one concern is that good things happen to them. And when we just romantically love somebody, we just want that person. But there are about 8 billion people. I didn't count them, somebody told me that, on this earth. And out of those 8 billion people, each one has a heart. So that means there are at least 8 billion types of love. The philosophers and the scientists and physiologists and poets and artists, no one has ever been able to measure how much the heart can hold or give. And there was a line in Toni Morris's book, The Song of Solomon. She was a cranky old gal, and her daughter had died, and this older lady went into the church, and she spouted over and over again, she was loved, she was loved, she was loved. And I'm going to guarantee and share with each one of you, just so you know, you are loved. Every one of you in this room is loved. In case you weren't aware of that. Everyone. So that's half of your desire is met just by realizing that by being part of this community, this family, you are loved. People care. They give a damn about you. They really care. And for each of us, we are receiving love. And for each of us, as we reach out and hug each other, as we smile, as we comfort each other when we're going through the crap, we are loving. And so many times we just aren't aware of that. There's all kinds of love. But I think the kind that every one of us is capable of participating is just maybe kindness. Just maybe caring. I want each one of you to think about a time when you just had a feeling of happiness. You were just happy, just bubbling. Didn't for that instant have a care in the world. What was happening right then? I'd almost bet every penny I could buy, borrow, beg, or steal that you were participating, sharing, giving or receiving love. You were having love interaction with another human being. Maybe some people have that kind of relationship with their pets. And some have that type of relationship with their gardens. And it doesn't make any difference at all. When you give your heart energy, your feelings, your best to another living entity, you are sharing your love. And when you are doing that, it is impossible to be angry or be afraid. It's impossible. Love is the most powerful energy known. We have all these great marvels, the internet, every kind of technology that we could ever dream of having. And while I'm saying that, they've just dreamed up 3 more new things that we don't even have names for yet. But none of those inventions will necessarily sustain humanity. Humanity has gone through every kind of war and disease and plague and natural disaster and hurricanes and earthquakes and everything you can imagine. And in the aftermath of those horrible things, what happens? What happened at the end of the Second World War when all of Europe was a shambles? People got out their old wheelbarrows and they worked together to grow food that they shared with everybody going down the street. And they helped everybody build a different house. Everybody helped make the new water systems, put in the new sewer lines, build the schools and the churches and the hospitals. There was no money. Nobody got money. They didn't need money. They were sharing their love. I remember when Katrina happened. And this congregation was very upset by that because a few people in the congregation had kin people down there. And in 24 hours, we got 2 vans full of stuff brought to the hall. And we made like 18 big tall moving boxes full of stuff. And then we asked for a few donations and took them to the post office. They said it probably better to go to UPS, so we did. And we sent blankets and clothes and sheets and pillows, crammed as tight as those boxes could get. And I can't hardly remember a time when I saw 30 people filled with so much joy as when we were over in the hall packing those boxes, having cookies, drinking coffee, and filling those boxes. And every time, oh, somebody's going to be warm next week. This is a great blanket. Oh, there's 6 pairs of socks in that bundle. That'll be good. There's nothing in this life experience that gives us as much satisfaction or joy than loving. And my voice is coming back, and I'm just about ready to do that heart, head, mark, brain meditation again. But when we are loving, and when we are feeling that love, whether it's coming in or going out, it's a two-way street. We sometimes don't even know when they're going both directions at the same time. But when that is happening, our brain does not produce any hormones that are what's the word? Stress hormones. And when that happens, all of the little workers in our body that are all designed to take care of each individual cell, make sure everything runs right, they all go back to their regular jobs. We are healthier when we are loving. We are happier. I don't know how many new cars ever made you feel that good or did that much for you. I don't know how many movies or television programs ever made you feel that good. But the greatest thing that any of us can ever learn is how to love and allow ourselves to be loved in return. I had some unsuccessful marriages. They were very disappointing to me. As a young man, my desire, actually for my whole life, up until 2005, when my last marriage went in the toilet. My only desire was to have a family, to have a wife and children, and have that family experience. I wanted that more than anything. And apparently, back in that little factory where I was considered, there was a flaw because my chooser was injured at birth. But I come to find out that instead of having a family of 3 or 5 or 2 or 4, here I was, right here on this corner, with a huge family. And quite honestly, after that last marriage disintegrated, you remember when I was married and when I went through that, I went through a really dark time. And had it not been for my responsibility, which I was glad to assume here at Church of the Oaks, and without my family here at Church of the Oaks, Ward and Susan, Bonnie, Kelly, who met with me, who allowed me to cry the blues, took me out to supper, invited me over for supper. Had it not been for that family, my time was so dark I would not be here, I'm pretty sure. But the love that is shared and generated in this room, it's been the best thing in my life. And if you think about it, and you learn to taste it and feel it, and let it in to your heart, let it into your brain, let it into your feeling. Feel the energy when we hug. Call each other when it's feeling rocky outside, when it's lonesome, when we're grieving. There is nothing in life greater than loving and being loved. Nothing. And we've got an infinite abundance of that in this room. And it has been here ever since I walked in the door. It's like it's this its own energy. When you walk in here, you feel it. And you can take it home with you. And you can share it with your next door neighbor. I took some home with me once, and this was a few years after my last marriage. There was a lady over at Safeway, and she was a very attractive lady about my age, and I looked at her, I didn't see a wedding ring or nothing like that. So after shopping there for several weeks, I went through her line one day. I said, "Hi, nice to see you. She's nice to see you." I said, "You know, I've noticed you've been here for a long time." She said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know if it's inappropriate. I apologize or anything, but any chance you and I could maybe get together and have a cup of coffee?" And she said, "No, a couple of reasons that's not going to happen." I said, "2 reasons?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Number 1, I'm not that desperate and you're not that lucky." So almost all the time, you can take the love from here and share it. And with that one exception that I found, it works. I walk out of here, there's someone here that's working where my band plays over Burbank Center over in 7777 West Bodega in Sebastopol. And I take the love that is given to me here. I walk out of here full of it every Sunday. And I take it over there with the rest of my band, and we share our love and our joy. And there's plenty enough to go around to the 100 and some odd residents over there. And then we take it over to the senior center in Sebastopol, and the senior center in Rohnert Park, and the senior center in Sonoma. It's the greatest gift. And most of us are too busy or have too much expectation, and we're too angry, and we feel so victimized to understand. Yes, I wanted a wife and children. Well, I was too busy looking for that to see for several years all the love that was right here. Just blowing at me. All I had to do was just realize it and accept it. And I did. And I hope you realize it and are able to accept it. It will change your life. I guarantee it. I will put that in writing. Cut off the end of my finger and I'll sign it and believe you. I'm that sure. That when we share our best, when we share our divine, our soul, there's no finer gift. There's nothing that is more rewarding. There's nothing that can heal hurt. There's nothing that can dispel fear and melt anger and hatred like love. Nothing. That's our greatest desire, folks. It's all around us. We just have to get our butts out of the way, put down all these expectations and goals and dreams and plans, and just be quiet for a moment and sip that tea and realize we're in a sea of love in this room. There's not a person in here that wouldn't bend over backwards, give you the shirt off their back, share their money, their time, their love, their talent, their treasure with everyone here. And not just here. I've noticed that folks that are here, they share that same love everywhere they go. They share that love when they go to the store with their neighbors and their friends and their families. Well, except that one uncle is a jerk and we just accept him. We love him anyway, but we don't tell him. I hope that all of us can just take some time and sit here in this magic place and feel love. We're all sending it out there, and we're all receiving it, whether we're aware of it or not. So I hope that all of us can, I don't know, take home a piece of paper, tie a string around your finger, maybe right on your forehead. I am loved. You are too. Whatever it takes. Your life will change. Your life will be enriched if you live in the awareness of sharing your love, allowing it to come in and making sure that it goes out. It's better than money, it's better than going to the movies, it's better than a new car. It can be in any form. Friendship. I want to read something to you. I almost forgot. I had to take C.S. Lewis. He wrote something that was too big to go on the order of service, but I just want to read it to you. Those who cannot conceive friendship as a substantive love but only as a disguise or elaboration of arrows betray. The fact that they never had a friend. The rest of us know that though we can have erotic love and friendship for the same person, yet in some ways nothing is less like a friendship than a love affair. Lovers are always talking to one another about their love. Friends hardly ever talk about their friendship. Lovers are normally face to face, absorbed in each other. Friends, side by side, absorbed in some common interest. And above all, while it lasts, is necessary between two only. But two, far from being the necessary number for friendship, is not even the best. And the reason for this is important. In each of my friends, there is something that only some other friend can fully bring out. By myself, I'm not large enough to call the whole man into activity. I want other lights than my own to show in all my facets. Hence, true friendship is the least jealous of lovers. Two friends delight to be joined by a third, and three by a fourth. And if only the newcomer is qualified to become a real friend, then they can say, as the blessed souls say in Dante, here comes one who will augment our lives. For in this love, to divide is not to take away. There's some things to ponder there. Our love, in whatever form, is kind of like the wind. You may not see it, but you can certainly feel it. I feel the energy, the love, the caring, the friendship, the warmth, the acceptance of each one of you. Week after week, you walk in the door and I feel your energy when you come in the door. And I sit up here and watch you. And you look at me and you nod and you'll raise your hand when I ask you to. You'll do almost anything you I ask, because you trust me. There is nothing. I can't think of anything that is more humbling and gratifying than to sit in a room and know that I am loved and trusted. Think about that for a moment. And that goes both ways with all of us. The one thing we all desire, we all want, we all crave, is to love and be loved. And we all have the power to do both at the same time or at different times. Some people, I've known some people that just, you can feel it. It's like they've got a halo around them or some kind of light around them. They love everybody and you can't help but notice it. And I think each one of us could do that. We kept our awareness in that magic place. We kept our desire right in front of us all the time. But we're folks. You can walk out, I can trip and fall and start turning the air blue and be very angry or fall down and be very afraid. But what dispels that, what makes that come to an end, those emotions, those angers, those fears, is knowing that I'm loved. And knowing that love is the best thing that ever happened to me, I'm sure. And I'm sure it's the best thing that's ever happened to you as well. Let's stand up and sing this song. Give ourselves to love. If we can make that part of our everyday routine, being aware that we have the opportunity to love in one way or another, everybody. And remember, there's 8 billion of us, and there's at least 8 billion kinds of love. Take your pick. We have an assortment, a buffet assortment of love at our disposal. Maestro, if you will.
Kind friends all gather round. Something I would say that what brings us together here lost us all today. And love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where the strangers are like family and loneliness can hide. You must give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I walk these mountains in the rain, learning to love the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. I've always known I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, stands before me now. You must give yourself to love, and love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire, it's planted like a seed. Love can give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you're ready, when love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. You must give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Now, perhaps a little amen would be in order.
Amen.
Just keep holding your hands and realize, though it's a little shaken, we are standing here like dear brothers and sisters in a purpose. So may we give thanks. And so it is. Thank you. Good to see you.